Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news update show. We've got lots and lots to talk about. Has Cristiano Ronaldo pretty much confirmed he's staying at Manchester United? It looks like Ronaldo's set to stay after comments he's made. Manchester United plan to sell at least 5 more players on top of the 3 agents going. Ten Hag, is going to Selhurst Park. The kits for next season has been leaked. There was a big, fat dressing room fight apparently on Thursday. More dressing room issues and surprise, surprise, more dressing room leaks blaming Rangnick. So not the players' fault. Okay, it was Van Gaal's fault. They weren't good enough for the players. It was Mourinho's fault. It wasn't good enough for the players. It was Ollie's fault. He wasn't good enough for the players. It was Ollie's coach's fault. He wasn't good enough for the players. And now it's Rangnick's fault and that they miss Ollie's coaching staff, believe it or not, according to the leaks. I am fed up of Manchester United leaks. Like, the players, make your mind up. 1 minute you're slagging off Ollie and his coaches. The next minute you're saying it's not fair how you want Ollie and his coaches back. I mean, just blame yourselves. You're blaming everyone else but yourselves. And you know what? You're fucking shit. You are. Not all of you. But some of you have been fucking shit. So stop looking to blame everyone else. Stop these leaks going, oh, it's Rangnick's fault. And just do better. Just play better. Step up. Take some responsibility or leave. Because no wonder they didn't like Ronaldo coming in. Because Ronaldo must be thinking, what the fuck is the standard of this club? What the hell is wrong with some of these players? They can't take a bit of criticism. It's never their fault. Well, that's what happened when you overpay a bunch of brats and Ollie protects them. And I tell you what, we've got so much positive news to talk about that I'm not going to get into that till later. Xavi has almost pretty much confirmed De Jong is leaving Barcelona. United are the favourite to sign De Jong. United are in for De Jong. And I know what, the De Jong saga has been going on for a couple of days. It's starting to get boring. I know. I don't want to be talking about the same thing loads. But what I will say about De Jong to Manchester United, yes, is if De Jong wants to come to Manchester United, the deal will happen. United wants him, Barca will sell him. It is down to De Jong. It's down to convincing De Jong. And if he wants to come, he will come. The good comment here from David Lee saying they can't fight. And I've seen a lot of people talking about the Man United fight yesterday between 2 senior players. And they're just saying, oh, it's the most fight they've shown all season. I tell you what, they fight more with each other in training than they do on a fucking pitch. I tell you what, you could have saved that fight for Liverpool 4-0 because Mejbri had to show you how it's done. This squad, you know. They can't fight on the pitch. They fight each other, you little prick. Do you know what annoys me, though? Is when it was announced there was a fight between 2 players. Everyone just goes, it was this player and this player. And everyone names their least 2 favourite players. I tell you what, whoever was involved in the fight will not start against Crystal Palace. I tell you that now. If he's not, anyone in the starting lineup versus Crystal Palace was not involved in the fight. We know Rangnick and we know we won't start them. We also know Rangnick's been taking as many holidays. He rewards them with a holiday. Apparently, the squad morale at Manchester United is so shit, so bad at the moment, and that's why Rangnick's given out so many holidays. That's why we had a holiday after losing 4-0 to Brighton, and that's why, because of the fight yesterday, they've been given a holiday. We're going to lose to Crystal Palace. There's a reason we're the most unfit, selfish, spoiled team in the Premier League, because, pardon me, really burpy state, because, first of all, as soon as we lose, they get a holiday. No wonder we lose. They probably want another holiday. It doesn't affect their paychecks, just less work. As soon as we lose, let's just give them a holiday. Because the dressing room morale is so bad, they're getting holiday after holiday after holiday. They're not training, they're losing fitness, and they're basically getting rewarded for being shit. So no wonder some of the players are spoiled. I just have to say that. But I do want to be positive because we have got positives. We've got De Jong, we've got Ten Hag coming in, we've got loads of stuff going on. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below if you're new. Soap Opera FC, keeping up with the Man United squad. That's what we should be called and all of that as well. And subscribe, as someone said, chill, and it is time to chill. Liverpool have won the FA Cup. Well, thank fuck Man City are winning the Premier League. I never thought I'd be so happy to see Man City win the Premier League, because if Liverpool win the quadruple, that beats the treble. They are the best team side of all time. I tell you that now. Now, Xavi from Barcelona, getting into a bit of news. Xavi from Barcelona has basically confirmed De Jong will leave Barcelona, because, you know, if the reports weren't true, Xavi would be saying, yeah, De Jong will be staying and all of that. Xavi has said, regarding the exit of an important player. He said the economic conditions of the team are governing. Xavi said, for me, Frenkie is very important for Barcelona. He's fundamental for Barcelona, but there's also an economic situation on it. Barcelona. So that was Xavi saying, yeah, I like Frankie de Jong, but we've got to remember there's an economic situation going on with Barcelona. He said, in a few days, we don't know what the economic situation is. We are into a plan. We need to see who we can count on, see who we can't. The economic level marks everything for us. Xavi said there are untouchable, transferable players. I have a very clear planning. We just need to know what economic level we're on to decide one or two things for next season. And Xavi basically has come out, and Xavi's the Barcelona manager. Xavi's the really good midfielder that said Paul Scholes was the best midfielder he's played against. So he obviously knows ball. But Xavi is basically saying, yeah, like, he's not said 100% De Jong will leave Barcelona, but the fact that he said De Jong and he said that De Jong's important, but there's economic situations going on, it's basically, because you can't say, yeah, De Jong will leave because of economic situations. You can't say that. He's basically saying it's the most likely thing to De Jong will leave without saying De Jong will leave. He's basically saying, yeah, I like De Jong, he's fundamental, but there's economic situations going on. De Jong might leave. And that is basically what Xavi is saying. And you know what? It's very clear that I think, you know, the reports that De Jong has been placed on the transfer market and all of that, the reports that De Jong is not wanted at Barcelona because of economic issues, and the reports that De Jong will be forced out seem true. Xavi's comments can back them up. We obviously know United are in for De Jong. We know that Barcelona will sell him. I've said it before, I said it again. If De Jong does not go to Man United, it's because De Jong didn't want to go to Manchester United. And that, in a weird way, is a good thing, okay? Because if De Jong doesn't want to come to us, we don't want a player that doesn't want to come to us. So if De Jong doesn't come, it's because he doesn't want to come to us, which means it's good not signing him. I think De Jong's a perfect player. I think De Jong's a brilliant player, but you only want a player that wants to come to United. If De Jong does come to United, he will be a United player in the next coming weeks, because the deal can happen. It's up to De Jong. Does he want to come? Would he rather go PSG? Would he rather go elsewhere? And the deal would reportedly happen for £60 million and all of that. Talking of De Jong, he's exactly what we need. I'm just looking at the United midfield. Pogba's going, Matic is going. We've literally got Fred and Bruno in the midfield. You've got Garner coming back. You've got Donny coming back. Garner played for Nottingham Forest today, who beat Sheffield United 2-1. I really hope Nottingham Forest get promoted to the Premier League. I do like Nottingham Forest. I think they're just a big club, and I'd like to see them back in that Premier League. Donny coming back will be like a new signing, Frankie de Jong, and then hopefully a CDM in to replace Nemanja Matic, because I think De Jong's a fantastic signing. He's an all-rounder. He basically, Scott McTominay is your Anne Hegarty and De Jong is your Margot Robbie. It's a massive upgrade, but we do need that DM sorted as well. Now, we know that Ten Hag wants De Jong. We know that Ten Hag's finalising plans and all of that. I will just quickly get into what's been said about De Jong. Andrew said, I want De Jong desperately, but given the club's track record in the post-SAF era, it'd be a big career risk of him. Exactly, you know, going to United is like a massive career risk. But I think, you know, knowing he's worked under Ten Hag and all of that, and I think the one thing United can say, and I've said this before, is this is the first rebuild where Woodward and Judge won't be there, okay? I think that you know, we've had so many failed managers. We know Moyes, Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ole, Rangnick. 5 failed managers. The one consistency with those 5 managers was Woodward and Judge. The players have been crap. The players are the problem. The players under Mourinho said the coaching staff wasn't good enough. The players under Van Gaal blame the coaching staff. The players under Rangnick are blaming Rangnick and the coaching staff. It's clear the players are the problem. Matt Judge and Woodward kept the players here, recruited the players, scouted the players. This is our first rebuild without Judge and Woodward. We know Ten Hag's a brilliant manager. Ten Hag's probably the manager that Man United signed that I'm most excited for, because I was interviewed 3 years ago and said, if you would get someone to replace Ole, who'd you get? And I went, oh, that Ajax manager looks good. Never been so excited about the manager. And look, it's a massive risk coming to United, but I think United can say it's different this time. Now, that sounds crazy because, you know, believe it when you see it. No, every rebuild we believe will be different, and it's not different. And in 3 years' time, it's the same thing. It's a failure. But they've got rid of Judge. They've got rid of Woodward. They've given Ten Hag some power. And look, John Murtough was growing on me. You know, I can't really fault John Murtough as a Manchester United fan. I don't think we can fault him, because he's going to the Youth Cup final. He's going to the under-18s game. He's flying back and forth to Amsterdam. He's getting stuff done. John Murtough gave Rangnick the consultancy role, listened to Rangnick. John Murtough got Ten Hag. You know, John Murtough seems focused on the job. I have no criticism of John Murtough. Since John Murtough's come in, Woodward's gone, Judge is gone, about 6 other people have gone, like, you know, scouts, recruitment, people in finance. He's restructuring everything, John Murtough. Not only that, he's watching the youth games. He's actually watching the youth. He's going to Amsterdam. He's back and forth. You know, so maybe United could go to De Jong, but this time it's different. And they can say, look, we sacked all these people. This is happening. This is happening. You know Ten Hag, you know his mentality. You know, it's going to be different this time at United. But it is a career risk, most definitely. But maybe United can say a load of crap that this is different and all of that as well. Alice, are you planning on doing a women's football watch-alongs? Maybe on the second channel, And Ten Hag is getting 170 million to spend plus any money from sales. That is what I've heard as well. I think if Ten Hag's getting 170 million to spend plus money from sales, we're looking at around 200 million, with 60 million being spent on De Jong. So you're looking at maybe another 150 million on top of De Jong, which would be CDM, right wing, striker, centre back, fullback. I mean, we most definitely need a fullback as well. Some people are saying 120 million. I think we'll get between 150 to 200 million. I think overall that's how much we'll spend. But knowing United, we might just sign one player because it wouldn't put it past us. But hopefully things have changed. The recruitment from out here will be the real judge of things. Exactly. If we sign Frankie de Jong, if we sign some good young gems, and if we're sitting here in 2 years' time and we're in the title race, we're saying, oh my God, there's 3 games to go. If we win these final 3 games, we could win a title. Then we can go back to this video and go, my God, Woodward and Judge has gone. Recruitment's fine. But yeah, I think, you know, the next couple of seasons will be the judge of Murtough and the new system. But so far, I've been impressed with what I've seen from the likes of Murtough and all of that. I'm always a bit skeptical, but he seems interested in making a change. We know Richard Arnold's actually been responding to fan emails. Richard Arnold will not do the footballing side of the job. He's leaving it to Murtough. I still think Fletcher's fucking irrelevant and we should get rid of Fletcher. I like Fletcher, but what the fuck does he do? But, you know, United seems serious in changing. The fact that we're looking to get to transfer business now, and I don't know if this is Rangnick forcing Murtough to do this, because we know Murtough has been taking on Rangnick's advice. I don't know if it's because Man United is so bad that they've finally woken up and realised they need to act early in the transfer window, or I don't know if it's something to do with Ten Hag's elite mentality. You know, Ten Hag wins the Eredivisie, next day calls a meeting, next morning after he wins the fucking Eredivisie, calls a meeting and is like, yeah, John Murtough, fly over here, mate. Let's get to business. Let's plan the transfers. Let's get De Jong. You know, United, for the first time in the transfer window, seem to want to act early. You know, I used to get so frustrated because you see Chelsea and City buy players in like February and March for the summer, and United would just sit there and do fucking nothing. But it seems that United could go and get De Jong before the window opens, because obviously Barcelona would need to sell him. United are kind of ready to go straight to business. Pardon me, which is what I want to see. And maybe that's Ten Hag. We know Ten Hag is not here to sit around. We know it's quoted from Ten Hag that allegedly Ten Hag says it's basically saying the players I want gone right away. I don't want them here in August. I don't want them coming on pre-season tour. Ten Hag has said about the bad eggs at Manchester United. If a player doesn't want to play under me, if a player doesn't want to be at United, if a player wants to go, I want them gone before pre-season. I do not want them coming on pre-season. I do not want them involved. I want the bad eggs gone. I don't want United to be hanging on to players to the end of August to see if they can get a bit more money. Just get rid of the bad eggs and get the players I want. No dragging out deals. Get it I want. Get what I want. And hopefully, if United can get De Jong over the line before the window even opens, and we get another player when the window opens, hopefully United will get straight to business. We can bring it like 3 players on the pre-season tour, 5 players would have gone by them. Hopefully we can get straight to business. But as I said, time will tell. You know, it looks like United are changing. Actions speak louder than the words. United have taken actions. No Woodward, no Judge, no Jim Lawler, no Marcel Bout. Head of corporate finance has gone. Some other person I'd never heard of has gone today. You know, they've taken action. Actions speak louder than words. But actually, the long-term action is, will the recruitment improve? There's reports that actually Ten Hag can bring one of his Ajax scouts with him because of the opening positions. Could they get in someone like Paul Mitchell? Only time will tell if United have really changed, but they have taken some actions within the transfer window, which is definitely a positive. Deadwood out now. I agree we need to get rid of the Deadwood, and De Jong will be a fantastic signing. What a dream signing he will be. He's an absolutely complete midfielder. And hey Ellis, what's the news on De Ligt? Hopes it's true. Don't want my heart to be broken with false news. Well, I don't know what the 100% the news is with De Ligt. Well, I do actually. I'm going to read it out. But the situation with De Ligt is that United want De Jong, and United would also be quite interested in De Ligt. We know there's an interest in De Ligt. We know that De Ligt is possible. And Mike Way, who's a tier 1 journalist from the Netherlands, said a move away from Juventus this summer is definitely possible for De Ligt, who's been linked with Manchester United by reliable Spanish journalists. And Mino Raiola put a limited transfer fee in the contract of Matthijs De Ligt, which would allow him to leave should a club decide to buy him. So De Ligt is definitely available. De Ligt is definitely possible. We know from other sources that in Spain, ERIK sees Matthijs De Ligt as a key player in recognising and reorganising Manchester United's defence, which is a major concern given how poorly it currently works. He needs a specific centre-back who guarantees the ball out and advances the line. We know that De Ligt has worked under Erik ten Hag. If Ten Hag wants De Jong, he might most definitely want De Ligt. They've worked well with him in the past. I don't think De Ligt has been brilliant at Juventus, so maybe he needs a change. I don't think he really suits Juventus' style of play either, and the centre-backs he plays with don't complement him. He's still a young player. De Jong, I'm confident will happen unless De Jong doesn't want to come. De Ligt is possible. De Ligt is a player of interest. We've been linked to De Ligt, Timber, Pau Torres. I'm sure we'll get a centre-back, but I think United right now, I get the impression, are very, very focused on signing someone like Frankie de Jong. United wants to get to business, wants to sign de Jong. And I think once we sign de Jong or we don't sign de Jong, whatever happens with that, then I think we'll know if really De Ligt could happen or not. But there's reports of an interest in De Ligt from very good journalists as well. So we'll have to wait and see with that. I would quite like De Ligt, but he's not actually my first choice. But Varane and De Ligt would be, I think it'd be a good duo. But do you think they complement each other? I think it'll be an interesting one as well. We are on 120 likes. We've got over 400 people watching, so please do hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If De Ligt's release cost is over 100 million, then fuck off. That's way too expensive. United need a player like De Bruyne, I agree, and Ronaldo, very, very likely to stay. And this guy says most important is that the team can perform well together. Just saying De Jong is great is one thing, but we need a whole team that can perform together. And you're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. I look at Liverpool, I look at Chelsea, who haven't even had a great season, but I look at Liverpool and I look at Man City, and they play together. All those players play together. You know, you look at United, we've got a lot of stars on the pitch. We've got the highest paid squad in the Premier League, so really they should be the best squad in the Premier League. But in fact, they're actually one of the worst. I think only Norwich are worse than us, and Norwich almost beat us at Old Trafford. It weren't for Ronaldo, but you know, I think under Ollie, we were Moments FC. We were Individuals FC. We used to talk about Ollie before he was sacked, before things got this bad, and we used to say individual brilliance, individual brilliance. Because when you really think about it, and I send these tweets all over Twitter, and I do like Ollie, and Ollie did get us top 4 2 seasons in a row, and Ollie has been our closest in a title challenge, I guess, and all of that. But I send these tweets going, Ollie's the only manager post Sir Alex Ferguson to get top 4 in 2 seasons. Ollie's the only manager post Sir Alex Ferguson to not win a trophy. And Ollie was not a proper manager. I like Ollie, but he was not a proper manager because we were not playing like a team. We were playing like individual. We were individual FC, individual brilliance. You know, and I think it's just unsustainable. I really think we started to get caught out because as soon as Ragnick comes in and we've got to start playing like a team, fuck it out. They forgot how to play together. You know, selfishness. There's a lot of selfishness in the squad. There's a lot of blaming each other. And when you're not playing as a team, when you rely on an individual brilliance and that runs out and player confidence runs out, you know, Marcus Rashford is an individual brilliance. He was brilliant for a bit. He got all these last-minute goals. Just gone. Not working. Greenwood was a player that could come up with individual brilliance. He's gone. Bruno's just gone shite. And there's a lot of lack of confidence. You know, United need to start playing a good team. Maybe the players don't complement each other. Maybe we've recruited the wrong kind of players. Or maybe it's because we spent so long playing like individuals that we can't play as a team. But I think one of the most important things is not just signing good players, but signing players that can work well and actually building team cohesion at United. I think, you know, we've got some good individuals. You know, our players aren't as bad as they're performing. We know that they're better than they are. Like, I'm not saying Harry Maguire's a brilliant defender, but Harry Maguire's better than what he's been this season. Luke Shaw's better than what he's been this season. Rashford, Bruno, better than what they've been this season. Most of them are. And I think, you know, it's about Ten Hag probably lifting the morale of the dressing room, lifting the team cohesion and bringing in his players, because you can bring in all the players, but I think the biggest problem at United is team cohesion, morale, playing as a team. So I do definitely agree to an extent. 4 managers can't all be crap. These players have gotten away with too much for too long. Time to clean the house, says SM. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. The one consistency over their 9 years of failure is Woodward, Judge and the players. You've changed all these managers. We've had proven winners managers coming in and not been successful. Woodward and Judge have gone. Now it's time for some of the players to go. And every single failed manager we've had leaked dressing room reports where the players are saying, "Oh, the manager wasn't good enough. Oh, the manager's training's not good enough." You know, we have the players saying Ollie and his coaches and McKenna and Phelan are crap. Now all of a sudden the players are complaining that Phelan and McKenna aren't here and that Ragnick's crap. It's like, make up your mind. The Manchester United squad and the Manchester United dressing room, it's an absolute mess at the moment. It's absolutely embarrassing as a Manchester United fan. You know, some of our players need to absolutely sort themselves out because we can't play as a team, can't play together. We're leaking reports and all of that. And I'm just hoping that we can get the deadwood out. We know, as I said, Erik ten Hag is very clear. If a player doesn't want to be there, if a player's not interested in his philosophy, he wants them gone. He doesn't want us hanging on to them. He doesn't want them giving them a new contract to increase their commercial value. Bailly and Jones should have been gone. Woodward and Judge gave them a new contract to increase their commercial value. They stayed here. They didn't play. They were unhappy. Bailly's caused some problems. We know that. Okay. If someone doesn't want to be here under ten Hag, if someone's not happy, we need to get rid of them. Not giving them a new contract, see if we can get more money for them and hold on for them for another year. We get rid of them. We need to prioritise football over commercial success. And that's what the board need to do, and they need to listen to ten Hag. And that's what ten Hag wants them to do. Get rid of the bad eggs. Now, we know that Lingard, Pogba, Matic, Mata and Cavani will be going on a free transfer. Now, I'm not saying that all the bad eggs, but they definitely need to go and get out the club. Bailly, if he doesn't want to be here, get rid. Phil Jones, we need to get rid of him. He's not good enough. Okay, he just needs to go. Wan-Bissaka, clearly Ragnick doesn't like Wan-Bissaka. I've been hearing a few things about Wan-Bissaka causing dressing room issues. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not going to say what I've been told because I don't want to spread anything that's not true. Wan-Bissaka, if he's not wanted, if he's been causing issues like allegedly he has, get rid. Dean Henderson, I like Dean Henderson, but fucking hell, just get rid. If we're not going to play him, get rid. What goalie you want, ten Hag, let me know. The other one, go. Because you can't have De Gea and Dean Henderson at the same club. It does not work. They're both first-team goalies. You have one, not the other. Go. Okay? Tellers, he's crap. Honestly, we need a new fullback. Just, he's not good enough. I'll just get rid of him. People think I've got a Tellers agenda. Luke Shaw is better than Tellers. People go, well, Luke Shaw's crap. Yes, Luke Shaw has been crap this season. But Luke Shaw was good at the Euros. Luke Shaw's had good moments this season. Luke Shaw was brilliant last season as a player. And Luke Shaw, that is good enough to play in the Premier League if he can find his form. Now, Luke Shaw, if he's poor again next season, you sell, you improve. But we know that Luke Shaw on his day is good enough for the Premier League. And I did a 5 players I would sell at Manchester United list. I listed 5 players I would sell at Man United. And I said the 5 players I would sell would be Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Jones, McTominay and Tellez. And everyone else was going Bruno, Rashford, Maguire and all of this. And look, if Bruno's playing like this time next year, sell. If Rashford's playing like this time next year, sell. If Maguire's playing like this time next year, sell. I don't have a problem with Bruno. I don't have a problem with Rashford. I don't have a problem with Maguire being here next season. What I have a problem with is if Maguire is playing poor and he's starting week in, week out and being captain, I've got a problem with that. I don't care if Maguire is here next season, which people might sound crazy, but the centre-backs that need to go are Bailly and Jones before Maguire, okay? Because at the end of the day, Maguire doesn't cause dressing room issues. If he did, he wouldn't be playing week in, week out. Let's be honest. Ragnick would be dropping him, okay? Now, my issue with Maguire is he's captain. I want him stripped of captaincy. And my issue with Maguire is he's not performing, but he still starts. I have no issue with Maguire being at Manchester United next season as long as he's only being rewarded on form. As long as he's not captain and only being rewarded on form, I don't care if Maguire's here next season. If Maguire's here next season and he starts playing well, I don't care because I'd like him to start. If Maguire's playing well, if Maguire's getting clean sheets, if he's playing like he does for England, brilliant. If Maguire's here next season, he's playing crap, drop him. I have no issue with Rashford staying in next season. I still think there's a good player in Rashford. I think, just give him one more year. If he's shit, get rid. I have no issue with Bruno being in next season because let's not forget that Bruno was our best player for his first 18 months. He's just been crap these last 6 months. The thing is, I'm going to say this about Maguire, Bruno and Rashford. There's been points in Maguire, Bruno and Rashford's career where they've been good players for us. Last season when we came second, Maguire was good for us. When he got injured, we missed him. Okay? He obviously started the season poorly. Bruno, his first 18 months at United, he was brilliant and crucial for us. Rashford, in Ollie's first full season, was brilliant and crucial for us. At what point have we looked at Scott McTominay and gone, he's brilliant and crucial for us? Never. He's had a few good games, but it's always 10 shit games, 1 good game. Scott McTominay's not had a period of 6 months or more where he's been a good player for United, to get rid. Wan-Bissaka's not had a period of 6 months or more where he's been a good player for United, get rid. Teled's never had a good period, get rid. Bailly and Jones need to go. Maguire, Rashford and Bruno have all had periods where they've been a good player for Manchester United. Now, I think long-term, Maguire will never be United quality if you want to win Premier Leagues. And I think long-term, Rashford's going to have to prove himself. But at the end of the day, people are saying, why would you sell this player and not Rashford, Bruno and McTominay? Because at the end of the day, Rashford, Bruno and McTominay a year ago, Rashford, Bruno and Maguire a year ago were all saying we're decent players when we came second. We're in a Europa League final a year ago. Rashford had dropped off a bit, but we were all saying they were decent players, and we were saying, oh, it's because Rashford's injured. Okay, a year ago we weren't saying McTominay was good. A year ago we weren't saying Wan-Bissaka was good. They've had 2 poor seasons. These players have had 1 and a little bit poor season. So that, in my opinion, and people would disagree with me, it's an unpopular opinion. I'm not saying that I want Maguire and Luke Shaw and Rashford to be 13 starters next year and all of that. But what I'm saying is a lot of people want Luke Shaw, Maguire and Rashford gone, and I could understand why. They have been poor. But I'm just thinking, if I was going to name 5 players, they wouldn't be in there, because I think we've got worse players. I do. Now, I think, long term, we need to get rid of those players unless they prove themselves and shine under Ten Hag. I don't think Maguire is a Premier League level title-winning centre-back, but he's better than Phil Jones. Just right now, no, but he is. Rashford, he got, 25 goals 1 season for us. He's crap at the moment. Rashford is probably the worst player in the Premier League right now, and that is not a lie. Rashford's last 4 or 5 games for the Manchester United is probably going to go down as one of the most shocking performances in Premier League history, because he's not even running. But Rashford has been good for us, and again, Bruno has been good for us. And I know I'm waffling, but if I was going to sell 5 players, I think long term I would sell them if they're not performing, but I think we have bigger issues to sell, and I think they would be harder to sell. And people might think I'm an idiot and all of that. Someone said Delô does a lot of runs, but his decision making and crossing have been very poor. I agree. I will say that as well. Big up Terry. Thank you very much for the chat as well. There's been a report that Erik ten Hag sees Delô as key at Manchester United. There has been a report that Erik ten Hag sees Delô as key at Man United, and people are getting annoyed at this report. People are saying, what do you mean Erik ten Hag wants Delô? He's crap. Our fullbacks are Wan-Bissaka, Telles, Luke Shaw and Delô, okay? Now, none of our fullbacks are brilliant, are they? But I think Delô is probably better than Telles right now. And Delô, Wan-Bissaka, we can debate who's better. Neither of them are good, okay? But Delô is probably more versatile, which works better under Erik ten Hag. And I'm thinking we can't get rid of all 4 fullbacks in one summer. We've got to be realistic about this rebuild. We need a CDM. We need 2 midfielders. We need a striker, and we need a centre back, because Bailly and Jones are going to go. So that is one defender, 1 striker, 2 midfielders, and then we need fullbacks. If we were going into a summer where we only needed fullbacks, then you could get rid of the fullbacks and bring complete new ones in. So when people are saying, oh, he wants Delô, there's this report that Ten Hag could be interested in using Delô next season, don't freak out about it. There's just bigger problems than Delô at this club. Delô might just be here for a year, and then the following summer we get a right back in like Lamptey. And it's like, we'll make do with Delô for a year because, the CDM issue is a far bigger issue than the right back issue. But then next year we get our fullbacks. People getting that don't like De Gea, not a modern goalkeeper. De Gea is the least of our problems at the moment. He might not work under Ten Hag, but you know what? You've got bigger issues. Focus on the bigger issues. The next season is fullbacks, maybe goalie, maybe backup striker. Do you know what I mean? It's about just the initial problem is the midfield. And look, I don't have a massive issue with Delô playing next season. I think we've got bigger issues. Alvaro Fernandez will play number 3. I'm at the point where I would, Alvaro Fernandez, left back, came from Real Madrid, come through the youth academy. I really do like Alvaro Fernandez. He's been brilliant. He's got under 23s player of the season. I think with the recent form of Luke Shaw and Telles, he's definitely someone I'd look to give a shout in the squad, if I'm going to be honest with you. I do really like Alvaro Fernandez as well. Thank you, Kevin, for the chat. Sancho's had tonsillitis, so he's going around Paris with Insta players hiding. Look, Sancho's ill. Sancho's not been one of our worst players, so I don't care what Sancho's doing. You know what? Sancho will be back next season and he'll be involved. People say Spence at right back. Spence could be a good cheap right back option. 15 million. Again, I did a lineup, a realistic lineup for next season, and I said, oh, you know what? Spence, I put Spence in, and people were fuming, and I was like, we can't you know, if I was in charge of this transfer window, and if it was FIFA and we had the money Newcastle had, of course I'd be buying Lamptey, I'd be buying De Jong, I'd be buying Tchouaméni, not that I think he would come. I'd be buying Oshmin, I'd be buying like freaking Olise from Crystal Palace, I'd be buying, you know, a lot of players. I'd be buying Timber, I'd be buying a bloody fucking second left back. That we can't do that. We can't do that. And I think it is about, again, getting that CDM, getting that striker, and then the remaining budget. Can we get a fullback to challenge Delo or Shaw? Could we get an improvement on Delo or Shaw? You know, can we address those other positions? But I think it's making sure we get those 3 ones done. We've just got a breaking story, guys, that's come out from Laurie Whitwell. And Laurie Whitwell's reported just now that Manchester United are working on a deal for Frankie de Jong. This has come out just now from Laurie Whitwell. Now, Laurie Whitwell is a tier 1 reliable journalist. He works for The Athletic. He's a very, very good journalist, Laurie Whitwell. And he's coming out and he's just confirmed right now United are working on a deal for de Jong. So United have actually started working on a deal for Frankie de Jong. And this is some breaking news going out. It's come out, United Active tweeted via Laurie Whitwell, Manchester United are working on the Frankie de Jong deal, and it said they're looking for the player to work with Ten Hag. So it's literally just come out, as I've been going on and on and on at you guys, that United are working on a deal for Frankie de Jong from the best journalist out there. David Ornstein, Laurie Whitwell, honestly, the best journalists out there right now. They are coming out with news fresh, never missing. And this journalist has said, it's confirmed we are working on the deal for de Jong as well. Please do subscribe if you're new, guys. It'll be really, really appreciated. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, make sure you subscribe to Alice Talks Football. I do daily videos on the channel. I do a video normally at midday. I've got a video coming out tomorrow at midday UK time about exactly how Frankie de Jong will fit in at United. We've got a tactical analysis where we're looking at, his technical ability, his strengths, how he'd fit in the lineup, how ERIK Ten Hag would utilise de Jong. We've got a brilliant video coming out tomorrow lunchtime about how de Jong will fit in at United. And then I will be live tomorrow evening with the transfer news update. So for daily transfer news updates, for short videos, update videos, and more, please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. It'll be really appreciated. We've also got one more watch along, United versus Crystal Palace. I tell you what, one more game until the season is over, 90 minutes. And with Ten Hag going to Selhurst Park, hopefully, then bloody players will step up and start performing, because Ten Hag's going to be there. Ten Hag's going to be watching. I want to see some performance as well. How much do you think United will pay for de Jong? I'm going to guess £60 million. I think Barcelona are in financial issues. They probably want 70, but, they're not going to play around too much as well. Whitwell is basically from the club's mouth, so now no doubt we're at least trying for de Jong. Exactly. United are trying for de Jong. I think it'll be between 60 and 70 million. Sam, thank you for the super chat. Only if Barca sign Lewandowski will they sell Frankie de Jong. They have to sell de Jong or ter Stegen by the end of June, because they have to balance their financial books. Otherwise, they can't get Kessie on a 3. So they tried to get Kessie and I think someone else on the 3, and they can't bring him in unless they get de Jong. So they actually, unless they sell de Jong, so they actually do need to sell de Jong or ter Stegen. And United are in the market for de Jong, but no one's really gonna, they're not going to get the amount of money for ter Stegen as they will for de Jong. So with Xavi and Pedro coming through, they can afford to get rid of de Jong for that money. So it is de Jong who will leave Barcelona, and that United are working on a deal for de Jong as well. Terry says, get the striker de Jong. Personally, I'll go for the midfielder over the striker. But honestly, I'm at the point with United where our players are so crap at the moment that we could be linked to any player in the world. I could know nothing about them and I'd say get them, because some of our players have just annoyed me so much this season that we'll be linked to some guy in the bloody Ecuadorian League 3 or something, and I'll be like, buy him. He's probably better than what we have. But United are working on a deal for Frankie de Jong, and that's come out by Laurie Whitwell as well. And as I said, guys, about Frankie de Jong, I've got a tactical analysis coming out on him tomorrow if I can edit it in time. But he is what we need, because he's an all-rounder. He's not got a weakness. He's defensively sound. He's obviously works under ERIK Ten Hag. He can play in the 4-2-3-1, which I'm sure ERIK Ten Hag will deploy at United next season. He's versatile. He can play as a 6, play as an 8. He's played as a centre-back before de Jong. He's played as a centre-forward. He can play all around, but he either plays as a right-sided centre-mid in a 4-3-3, or he plays as a right-sided DM in a 4-2-3-1, more of an attacking-minded DM. So he's a good player. And what I really like about De Jong is he creates chances, he does late box runs, he's very versatile, he's good in link-up play, he has good ball retention, and also he's good under the press. De Jong has some of the best ball control ever. And with Man United, because I say this every time we lose or play poor, what do I say in my match reactions? We can't even pass. United, I tell you what, we are the worst passers in the league. How many times have I done a watch along where I'm counting 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, and I'm clapping because we've done 3 passes in a row without losing the ball, sarcastically, because we lose the ball so easily. We can't pass. De Jong is like the best passer out there. He's in the 95th percentile for progressive passes and pass accuracy. He's one of the best passers out there. And what he's really good is ball control under pressure. He keeps the ball close to him. I know he's not physically strong, but he uses his posture and his skill to get out of situations where he's good under pressure. He's good at passing the ball, and that's something we're crying out for. McTominay, when Maguire's got the ball under pressure, McTominay hides behind the defender. So Maguire can't even pass it to McTominay. So Maguire has to pass it to De Gea. And De Gea's distribution, I like De Gea, but his distribution is awful. So De Gea kicks it out to the midfield. De Jong as well, not only is he good with the ball, but when he sees a player under pressure, when I've watched Barcelona, De Jong's intelligent. He sees his teammate under pressure, he creates space for his teammate to pass to him. McTominay is always hiding behind the lines, always hiding behind the players. Maguire under pressure, can't pass forward, has to go back to De Gea. De Gea gives it right to the opposition because De Gea's distribution is crap, because our midfielders aren't making themselves available. And that is the one defence. That's the one thing I would defend our defence on. We can't play out from the back, but that is because our midfielders, McTominay, Fred, they hide. They hide. They don't want the ball. They're scared. So we have to give it to De Gea, who kicks it away. But if we, at least with De Jong coming in, we'll have someone there to hopefully not hide, get the ball back and all of that as well. Timber is 20 million. If Timber is 20 million, United need to be all over that. United absolutely need to be all over that. What would you say Rashford's worth is currently? I still think 50 million because he's young and he's English. So, yeah, De Jong and Tchouaméni is my dream. Absolutely. De Jong and Tchouaméni is my dream as well. Want to see on a touchline as if I was on the touchline versus Brighton 4-0, I'd be getting banned from the stadium. I would be screaming. I tell you what, I wouldn't be the most cool on the touchline, I think, the way United are at the moment as well. By the way, where are the Glazers? Are they going to make an appearance? It's funny how the Glazers never come down to Old Trafford, isn't it? Probably because they know that they probably wouldn't be that safe. Obviously, it would be really bad if someone did attack the Glazers and stuff, but I don't think they'd really be safe at Old Trafford when you think about it. But that's their own fault, really, for treating this club like crap, isn't it? De Jong is very creative. We need our mid and flanks to make runs so De Jong can get the forward passes. Yeah, as I said, and talking of De Jong, progressive passes, progressive ball carries, that is De Jong's strength. That is what he's good at. And that is exactly what we need at Manchester United, someone to carry the ball forward. I think we were talking about earlier playing as a team. United Individual FC, been playing as individuals for so long. With Frankie de Jong, he could link up the team, because I think one of the things is, and our weakness is defence, not defence. Our weakness is not defence. Our weakness is midfield. I've said this time and time again. The defence is crap, but the midfield is worse. United are like a donut. We've got a hole in the middle of the midfield. And we can't progress the ball forward. We can't play football because we actually can't get the ball to our attack. We lose it in the midfield. We're losing the midfield battles. We don't have a midfielder, apart from Matic, who can't play week in, week out, that can progress the ball from the midfield, so from the defence to the attack, because we just stop in the midfield. And, we don't have ball carriers, we don't have ball progressors, and that is what Frankie de Jong is. And that's something we're crying out for. And Frankie de Jong has so many attributes we're crying out for, and he's a great young player, and he's worked at the 10R before. Frankie de Jong is the perfect signing, but we also need a CDM. I think Frankie de Jong, a CDM, Donny coming back, James Garner coming back from a good loan spell, solves our midfield issues. But Frankie de Jong, a DM, and then we can focus on striker, focus on defence. But I think he has so many attributes that a lot of people don't realise that Man United are crying out for. He has so many attributes that we desperately need at Manchester United as well. I was watching the last match of the season, and I want the camera pan to ERIK ten Hag to see his reaction at 90 minutes and the realisation of what he's got into. My God, I hope they perform for ERIK ten Hag. I really, really hope they perform for ERIK ten Hag as well. Andrew said De Jong 95th percentile for pass completion, 80th for progressive passes attempted. These are ambitious passes, not just static. Yeah, exactly, which is a good stat there. And all the names for centre-back, no one has mentioned that United are looking at Danjuma from Villarreal. Danjuma's a player we've been linked to a bit, but I don't know if we'll get him. We might. He did cause Delo a lot of problems when we played them in the Champions League. We need Camavinga. We could have got him last season. He chose Real Madrid, but I agree. I like Camavinga. We're on 250 likes, guys. Let's push for 300 likes. So if you're watching right now and you've not hit that like button, please do. It'd be really, really appreciated as well. And honestly, Van der Beek, De Jong, Ten Hag next season is what I want to see. I've got quite a bit of news to get in, and I'm not going to lie. I've been waffling, and I do apologise. But it's come out from the Sam Wallace of the Telegraph. United are prioritising De Jong. It's come out from the very reliable Laurie Whitwell that we're in a deal for De Jong and all of that. We know from not Jordan Northcroft. What's his? Jason. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Jonathan Northcroft, that's it. We know from Jonathan Northcroft, just had a brain fart there, that Frankie de Jong's high on Ten Hag's list. We know from Jonathan Northcroft that Barcelona are expected to consider offers for De Jong and price him at 70 million euros. Man United's inability to offer UCL and interest from other clubs means De Jong would take a bit convincing to sign them. Again, another journalist saying Barcelona will sell De Jong. We want him, but we've got to convince him as well. Barcelona want to register Kessie or Christensen, but they won't be able to register one of those players until we sign De Jong, which means there's a need for Barcelona to get rid of De Jong. And apparently, according to Mundo Deportivo, that Frankie de Jong is actually very tempted by a move to United under the supervision of Ten Hag. It needs to be seen whether Barcelona will encourage the player to make a move away from Camp Nou. So we've got stories. So there's two stories really coming out about De Jong. The breaking story, Laurie Whitwell saying United are progressing, brilliant. But the two stories that I think are really interesting is you've got the English journalist saying United are making a move for De Jong. Barcelona need to sell De Jong. It's can they persuade De Jong to come? It is United are making a move. Barcelona will sell. Can we persuade De Jong to come? Xavi's confirmed they have to sell De Jong. Okay, so that's the first thing coming out. The Spanish journalists are saying De Jong is interested in the move to United, but he's waiting to see if Barcelona want to keep him or not. Well, Xavi's basically said he might need to go because of financial issues. So if the Spanish journalists are saying he will come if Barcelona don't want him, and Xavi's saying that Barcelona don't want him, then it's indications that he will come. Now, me being me, I don't like to get my hopes up too much with transfers. I believe De Jong is very likely. I hope we get Frankie de Jong, but I know Manchester United, and I have nightmares of me waking up one morning and Fabrizio Romano goes, here we go, De Jong to Manchester City, done deal, blah, blah, blah. Because I actually have no faith and trust in Manchester United, but I think De Jong is definitely a very, very possible deal. As we know, United are currently working on a deal to get De Jong done. Tier 1 journalist right now, this moment, United are working on a deal for De Jong. I generally think if De Jong wants to come, it will happen. Barcelona want to sell. We want him. He's not wanted at Barcelona. So as long as we can beat out PSG and Bayern Munich, and that is where Ten Hag comes in handy, I think it's likely. It's generally, it's all to do, honestly, our hope of getting De Jong is Ten Hag. Can Ten Hag convince De Jong to come and be part of this project? And if he can, I think we will get Frankie de Jong. So smash a like if you want De Jong or not. Honestly, I'm worried that City are just going to come in and do something crazy as well. If Frankie comes, I have no doubt it'll be because he generally wants to, given his numerous other offers. Exactly. United aren't going to be the only player interested in De Jong. If he comes, he wants to be part of the project. And he's 25. He's a great young player as well. Lots of news coming about De Jong. Laurie Whitwell did say earlier today that the recent meeting was about the general strategy and recruitment, and that United are, of course, looking to sign players, including De Jong, ticking both boxes for Ten Hag. We know from the Telegraph, United are prioritising De Jong. We literally know from every single outlet, United's priority is De Jong, and United are working on a deal for De Jong. There was a report last night that came out from Neil Curtis of The Sun. I know it's The Sun, that Neil Curtis is probably the only one from The Sun that gets things right. He said that Ten Hag has informed United scouts to keep an eye out for the best free agents this summer, and Ousmane Dembele and Paulo Dybala are potential options. I like Dembele, I like Dybala, I think they're good players, I think they're risks with injury records, with high wages. I like Dembele, and I think Dembele's been really good under Xavi. I think Dembele's been so good lately, he's so saucy. But with his injury record, with reportedly him causing dressing room issues at Barcelona, having attitude problems, and with his high wages, I don't want us to get Dembele on a free and he only comes to us because we're the club that will give him the wages he wants. And then he's injured, then he's causing problems. I'm very scared to do big transfer deals where, I want a player to come to United because not because we're the club that's going to give them the highest wages, but because they want to come and be part of the project, not because of the money. And I worry with Dembele, he'd choose United as a free agent because it's given him the most money. That's what I'm worried about, and he's got an injury record. And I like Dembele, but I'm worried about it. We know from Samuel Luckhurst that on top of De Jong, we're also working on a deal for Leeds midfielder Calvin Phillips. We know that it will be hard to convince Calvin Phillips to come, but if Leeds get relegated, it increases our chances. We know from Mike Way and some Spanish sources that United are weighing up a possible move for De Ligt, and that De Ligt is obviously a player of interest with obviously ERIK wanting a centre-back. We know from D'Amato that Paul Pogba could be returning to Juventus, but PSG are in talks with Paul Pogba. I think Paul Pogba will leave. We know from Sport Witness that Delo is part of ERIK ten Hag's plans. We also know that Ronaldo is part of ERIK ten Hag's plans, and Ronaldo is set to stay. Sancho is part of ten Hag's plans. Bruno is part of ten Hag's plans as well. And then obviously there was the report that came out yesterday saying 2 senior Manchester United players had a full-on scrap towards the end of a training session on Thursday. The duo went at it and had to be pulled apart. The session was ended prematurely and all the players were ordered back to the changing rooms. Obviously, I spoke about in that video earlier. So fucking hell, a mess. And we need at least one of those players in that scrap today. I don't know who was in the scrap on Thursday, but one of them needs to go. Laurie Whitwell this morning said that the mood in the Manchester United dressing room is totally flat as well. Basically confirming Manchester United is a bit of a mess at the moment, isn't it, as well? Honestly. Alice, do you think we can get a centre-forward, CDM, right-wing, centre-back all at the same time? I think we'll sign 4 players, but I couldn't tell you what positions as well. Thank you very much. Great content as always. United's budget is 150 million. I need to sign 5 players. What are your preferred signings? Mine would be De Jong. Maybe someone like Kamara on a free. I don't think Truman is realistic. Timber from Ajax. Maybe a fullback. A young up-and-coming fullback that would challenge one of our fullbacks. And then striker, I would go with Osimhen, actually. So yeah, that would probably be mine. I'm trying to be somewhat realistic. But I think Osimhen's just way too overpriced. Yeah, left back. I mean, honestly, I'm at the point where you just give Alvaro Fernandez a run in. Because United have been so poor defensively, haven't they? So I want to get into some of the dressing room leaks and reports. And look, we're all a bit bored of dressing room leaks, so I thought I'd save this towards the end of the live stream. But basically, Laurie Whitwell's come out today and said sources familiar with Carrington say the performance and result of the 4-0 defeat at Brighton was no surprise, considering the build-up to the match consisted of underwhelming training sessions laid on by coaches Ewan Sharp and Chris Armour. So someone at Man United has gone to Laurie Whitwell and said the reason they lost 4-0 to Brighton is no surprise because of the bad coaching sessions. Manchester United players, someone there, and some of the players are blaming the 4-0 loss not on themselves, on the coaches. Fucking ugh. Laurie Whitwell said that Rangnick has tried to get to grips with the poor performances, holding meetings with senior players about the way forward and simplifying the pressing instructions, but his inability to settle on the system and personnel has caused uncertainty. Again, basically confirming the players don't listen to Ralph Rangnick's instructions. What can Ralph Rangnick do when the one thing as a manager that he should always be done by players is listen? Doesn't matter who the manager is. As a football player, your job is to listen to your manager. If the players aren't going to listen to his instructions, what can Rangnick do? And then they'll go, oh, they're blaming Rangnick. They're saying they're saying it's Rangnick's fault. His coaches aren't good enough. We're unsure in his instructions. You're just not listening. Honestly, more leagues blaming Rangnick and the players. Then they start bitching about Darren Fletcher. Then they start bitching about Rangnick, and then they're complaining about Rangnick's press conferences. The players are. I'm not even going to get into the whole Laurie Whitwell article and all of that. And then one of the things Laurie Whitwell said is that Ralph has regularly given days off, allowing a spell of 9 from 13 after the team's UCL exit. Ralph went to Barbados for a break and was away for one of the days in training where players returned. And apparently the players complaining that Rangnick wasn't there for one of the training sessions. Complain. I tell you this now, if United would show this much passion and fight on the pitch, we wouldn't be in the position we are. When it comes to complaining, bitching about teammates, fighting teammates, bitching about coaches, bitching about the club, blaming each other, United have got all the fight and passion they need. When it comes to playing football, they're not there. They don't care. And the funniest story of them all was basically Laurie Whitwell had said the sources close to the United dressing room labelled the current standing of coaching well below Carrick and McKenna, and Rangnick and United would have preferred them both to stay on. So when Carrick and McKenna were here, stories coming out, not good enough, players wanted them gone. Now the players want them back. Make up your mind, honestly. the dressing room leaks are just infuriating at Manchester United. And the club is a mess. What about Alvarez from Ajax? He would be a good cheap one. He's one of the top CDMs in Europe. Not 100% sure you mean. I'm not well aware of him. Dybala, Anthony. I would. Yeah, good players. De Jong will come link up with Ten Hag and a chance to play alongside Ronaldo. De Jong will get to play alongside Ronaldo and Messi if he comes. That's if Ronaldo stays. Emmanuel says we need a serious centre-back. We do. I agree. By Giovanni Reina, good up-and-coming player. Rangnick is not an elite coach, but my guess is most of this lot don't have a footballing IQ to play his type of ball. And I agree with you there. Rangnick is known for being good at rebuilds, not coaching. But I bet you he knows more than the players. And I think the players just think they're too good for Rangnick. They're too stubborn. I think they're too good for Rangnick. This guy says we should give Garnacho some first-team games next season. Let him... Yeah, I think especially with maybe us needing a right winger and uncertainty if we'll sign a right winger, you could rotate Garnacho and Ahmad, give them a chance as well. Definitely. And as I said, I read that one out as well. Can the sale of Martial and Dean Henderson fetch 50 million? Yeah, I think you could get 25 million for each. I think their values have gone down this season because of how poor we've been and the lack of game time in United playing them out, but definitely possible. Definitely possible. Guys, please do hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. I've got a tactical video coming out tomorrow. If there's breaking news, then I'll do a breaking news video tomorrow. But in my drafts, I've got a tactical video about De Jong and how he will improve Man United and utilise Manchester United coming out tomorrow. So please do subscribe if you're not subscribed for tomorrow's video. It's literally talking about De Jong's strengths and weaknesses, how De Jong would fit in at United, how Ten Hag would line up with De Jong, and how De Jong would improve us. I've got an in-depth video hopefully coming out tomorrow. There will be a live stream tomorrow night. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, do subscribe. Laurie Whitwell came out about half an hour ago saying that United are in talks for, United are making a move for De Jong. So something really could happen with De Jong in the next few days. So please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed as well, and smash that like button. I am going to wrap up the live stream in a minute. So any last questions, do get them in before I wrap up the live stream. But as Diego says, please subscribe. Martial at Wan-Bissaka reportedly will be sold. One of the goalies has come out. I think that was Romano that said that as well. And what do you think about Rashford under Ten Hag? Hopefully Rashford. I think Rashford's a confidence player. I hope Rashford's good under Ten Hag. I want Rashford to stay and be back to his best, but we'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell what's going to happen with Rashford under Ten Hag. But there's a good player in Marcus Rashford, but time will tell. Time will tell as well. But yes, guys, apparently it's come out that ERIK Ten Hag has spoken to De Jong in recent weeks, but there's not been an official offer from United yet. So apparently Ten Hag and De Jong have spoken, which seems realistic. And apparently, it seems that, United are really seriously in for De Jong. United do not work on deals unless they actually think they're going to get the player. The fact that Laurie Whitwell has basically confirmed we're working on a deal for De Jong means that United really want De Jong. And if we don't get De Jong, it's because he doesn't want to come. United never work on a deal if they're not interested in signing a player. Okay, never ever. We get linked to 100 players, but we only get told we're working on a deal, and then we sign the player. So United are really clearly trying to get De Jong done. They're serious about De Jong. They're working on a deal. And I think there could be a big update about Frankie de Jong within the next week. So make sure you're subscribed, because the minute there's a deal agreed, a minute there's personal terms agreed, the minute there's a bid, fucking hell, I can't talk. The minute there's a bid, the minute there's an agreement, the minute the terms are agreed, the minute Frankie agrees to join, the minute something happens, I'll be love to update you on all the latest with De Jong to United. So do make sure you're subscribed and all of that. But let me answer a few comments. How about signing Kamara? He's a free agent in the summer. I agree. I think I'd only get Carbon Phillips if Leeds get relegated. Otherwise, I think he's way too of a price. Mohamed Kamara from Salzburg. Not too familiar with him. I've not watched much foreign football this season. I'm not going to lie to you. And Whitwell basically reporting straight from the club, so definitely something in De Jong. Exactly. And Lewandowski confirmed today will not be signing a new contract at Bayern. And he's linked to Barcelona, and he can only go to Barcelona if they sell De Jong. So, and the fact that Romano, who gets information directly from Barcelona, is so confident De Jong will come. Romano is so confident De Jong will come as well. I really think there's a big chance De Jong will come. I don't want to. I'm not saying De Jong will come, but I believe there's a real big chance De Jong will come to United. And I think the only reason he won't come is because he chooses not to come. But United is serious about De Jong. United are making a move for De Jong. Barcelona need to get rid. Xavi has said, basically, we're going to have to get rid of De Jong for financial issues. Lewandowski wants to come to Barcelona, confirmed he's not staying at Bayern. Barca want Lewandowski. They can only get him if they get rid of De Jong. They can only get Kessie and Christensen if they get rid of De Jong. United is seriously in for De Jong. We've got Ten Hag. There is something going on with De Jong to Manchester United. I'm confident something will happen, and I pray that it does go. And if it doesn't happen, it's because he doesn't want to come. And if you don't want a player that doesn't want to come. But I believe he would want to come. And reports in Spain are saying that De Jong, if he would like to stay at Barcelona, but if he's not wanted by Barcelona, he would come to United. And hopefully that is true. But I am going to wrap up today's video. Thank you everybody for tuning into today's live stream. There will be a video out tomorrow morning on Frankie de Jong. And if there's any news updates tomorrow, I will be live keeping you up to date. So I will be live this time tomorrow telling you any updates on the De Jong situation, the Ligt situation and more. So do make sure you subscribe. Do make sure you hit that like button. Thanks everybody for tuning into today's video live every single evening, keeping you up to date on all the latest transfer news. And I will have a video out tomorrow, hopefully. If there's breaking news, I'll come out with a breaking news video tomorrow morning. If not, there'll be a tactical analysis on how De Jong will improve United. And I think it's a really good video to watch that I'm looking forward to releasing. So see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for smashing the like. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks everybody in the chat. It's been a good stream. See you next time. Bye.